Hey, how's it going, everybody? How's it been hanging? You okay there, bud? What are you doing out of your hole? I don't know what you mean. I've just been working on projects for like the last couple of weeks. Man. Get back in your hole right now. Okay. Heyo, and welcome to another episode of the Drew's Broadcast, the hardest hitting show on YouTube, bringing you dining, robotics, entertainment, world, and sports news, all within the time it takes to send your alternate personalities back down to where they belong, to the dark abyss of your mind. As usual, let's get straight into dining news. In dining news, it's Lenten season, which means no meat on Fridays, and no beefing with anyone or your parents until after Easter. So, sorry if you had plans to fight behind Big Savers after school. Yeah, just give it a few more weeks. At least Easter comes early this year on April 4th. Anyways, on to real news. Since it's Lent and you seriously can't eat meat on Fridays, let's take a look at some companies, namely Beyond Meat, and see what deals and concoctions they got whipping up for you Catholics during this time. For those of you who eat McDonald's religiously and actually didn't give it up for Lent, try to strap yourself in because this news is for you. According to the Wall Street Journal, the California plant-based meat makers, Beyond Meat, signed a supply deal with McDonald's, the company announced Thursday, paving the way for a possibly new plant-based burger from the Golden Arches. And if this story sounds familiar, then hey, I know you keep up with the Drew's Broadcast. Either that or you're like, is that the McPlant bullshit? Yes it is. It's still unknown when McDonald's and Beyond Meat are going to roll out the McPlant nationwide, but at least they'll have something to rival Burger King's Impossible Burger and Pizza Hut's Beyond Pizza. Oh, and indoor dining is reinstated in some California counties. But do you guys really care about that? We're still in the pandemic. In robotics and tech news, let's talk about housing, specifically houses you can 3D print and buy. Oh yeah, I went there. I actually didn't go there, I meant it more like, here's the story. Whatever, you didn't know what I meant. But rather me trying to explain CNBC's article to you because, well, you're you, I thought I'd just break it down with a simple voiceover explanation over CNBC's video. So apparently this machine that 3D prints concrete or gum paste or whatever the that is to build the walls and hold everything together, yeah, just follows the house's outline and constructs it accordingly. Then DNL right here is like, check this out, it's as solid as a rock. I don't know how it works, so don't ask me. No, I'm not related to the late Michael Jackson or Miranda Cosgrove, but if you stare into my eyes for too long, I will take your soul. Then it cuts back to the 3D printing industrial machine doing its thing, taking a nice big 3D printed concrete layer before going to a wide shot of workers spraying some stuff on the walls. According to CNBC and contractor Kirk Anderson, this new home is said to be listed just under $300,000 and features 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a garage. And if the price was the only thing that sold you on it, you better wait in line, as the realtor for the property, Stephen King, says he's getting numerous potential buyers ringing his line and flooding his emails every day. But let me know what you think of this story, and would you live in a 3D printed house? In entertainment news, let's move on to the video's title story and talk about the extraordinary person that is Haley Arsenyuks. And if I butchered that name horribly, I'm sorry. But the reason we're shedding light on Haley today is because, as CNN puts it, she survived childhood cancer. Now she's going into space. Oh yeah. That oh yeah was added by the Drew's Broadcast. I'm not a real news source. But let's learn a little bit about the physician's assistant for St. Jude's according to the New York Times, shall we? So around the age of 10, she was diagnosed with bone cancer and had metal rods put into her left leg as a result of the treatment. Years later, I hope she got her degree, and began working at the same hospital that saved her life nearly 20 years ago, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, with an operation funded by Jarek Isaacman, a billionaire who bought a rocket from SpaceX, he wants to send a ship to orbit the Earth where no one on board is a professional astronaut, but instead filled with average civilians. Haley was chosen by Mr. Isaacman and St. Jude as they wanted someone who was a symbol of hope, hence why Haley was chosen. The Times also reported that she's the first person with a prosthetic body part to go into space, which, hey, that's pretty cool, and also the youngest person to travel into orbit. Good on ya, Haley. Make us Earthlings proud. I don't know why I did an Australian accent for that last bit, but in world news, let's talk about what's going on between the United States and the Middle East, and why we're firing missiles at each other and blaming Biden. So according to NPR, on Thursday, the Biden administration sent a military airstrike to Syria, quote, targeting Iranian-backed militia groups. Why, I hear you asking? Well, let's answer to the next paragraph. Quote, the Department of Defense said the strikes are a response to recent rocket attacks against Americans in Iraq, including one in which a civilian contractor working with American forces was killed and several U.S. service members were injured. Following a February 15th attack in Erbil, Iraq, which officials like Lloyd Austin believe was conducted by Shia militants, 2 other strikes were said to be carried out last week, one in northern Baghdad, which struck a base hosting U.S. soldiers, and another in Baghdad's Green Zone. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby said in a statement that the retaliation from the U.S. was a, quote, proportionate military response, and that the strikes destroyed facilities, quote, used by a number of Iranian-backed militant groups, including those, yeah, I don't want to butcher any more names. It's unclear if the U.S. is going to pull troops out of the region or if they're going to remain. But for those of you who are like, Biden is just going to keep bombing the Middle East and the war is going to continue. What did you think was going to happen? I mean, this was the same guy present during Obama's era, and during Obama's era, you know they went off like the most minimal information for taking action against terrorists, right? They were just like, hey, that guy kind of has the same beard as Mohammed Abdul Salam. Full send it. Wrapping up with sports news, UEFA Europa and Champions League action returned this week, and boy was it madness. Kind of. Leicester City were knocked out of the Europa League by Slavia Prague after 2 extraordinary goals in the second leg. The young boys of Switzerland knocked out German side Bayer Leverkusen in the same competition, and Norwegian side Molde FK upset TSG Hoffenheim to reach the round of 16 stages. Speaking of extraordinary goals, go check out Dele Alli's and Olivier Giroud's bicycle kick goals, and let me know which one was better in the comments below. Staying on the topic of soccer, but switching gears to the Premier League, my Manchester City are still top of the league after this weekend thanks to a scoreless draw between Chelsea and Manchester United. So, keep crying, Chris and Charlie. There's only one blue team in England, and that's City. Manchester City, not Leicester. You get the point, I just want you to be salty. Oh, and Tiger Woods almost died this week after losing control of his car while driving down a windy road, but he's doing alright, aside from a shattered foot and some broken bones. But he won't face any charges according to the LA County Sheriffs. As always, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I've been your host, Andrew Alonzo. Sorry for the whole not uploading for the last 2 weeks, and for missing my SoundCloud podcast uploads. I've just been working trying to get a real job in journalism, so sorry guys. All my attention has been focused elsewhere at the moment, writing stories, doing interviews, etc., etc. All that stressful good stuff that comes with the field. But I'll try to get everything back on track while expanding out my portfolio, so just be patient. I have some cool content ideas in the works, but just not the time to get it done right now. I really appreciate y'all making it this far into the video and hearing what I have to say, because honestly, without y'all, this channel would be even more dog than usual, and probably wouldn't even exist. But thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much for watching. That's all I got for today, folks. I have some 4th dimensional Fritos I gotta review, so I'll see y'all next time.